Hello again, my name is Anthony Gantz. This is the Local Conversation. Today we have the beautiful Miss Mallard out of Titusville, Florida. We are at the Brevard Women's March, and I'm just getting the overall message. So Sonya, tell us a little bit about you and what brings you here.
Well, Anthony, thank you so much. I'm honored to be on your podcast. And what brought me here today is my granddaughter. Right now, we're in a time in this world that we have to draw a line. And I have to march. I have to lift up my voice. I have to make a difference because they're trying to take us back. And Anthony, we won't go back.
Nope.
It's so important for a woman's rights, human rights, just all of these things they're trying to take from us. Book bannings, DEI. It's so important for us to understand today that we have to stand on one side or the other. And years from now, what would my granddaughter say? Grandma, where were you? Did you march? Were you there? Did you speak out? So today it was important for me to be one of the speakers. It was important to let my voice be heard, to rally with the other women and gentlemen that was in the crowd today, to let us know our differences is what makes us. Diversity matters. Books matters. Our truth matters. America matters.
Absolutely. And so history has taught us all that these kind of gatherings are important.
Very.
And we all know that.
Yes.
And it's still entertaining to even this day. There are those out there that seek to minimize groups of people.
Yeah. I can't imagine. Can you imagine living in a world that everyone looks like you, thinks like you, walk like you, talk like you? That would be so boring after
Absolutely
a while, right?
boring.
And I don't understand. Even statistics show we're so better together, diverse, different ideas, different cultures, different communities, different religions. It's so important to understand. That's what makes America.
Yeah.
Are we forgetting what built America when they came over? When they saw the Statue of Liberty? It's so important that we respect each other. Now, we can agree to disagree.
Absolutely.
But we got to do it respectfully, right?
Yeah.
And I just think that we can't go back. We can't go back to that dog time.
No.
This is 2025. This is not 1925.
Yeah.
And it's so important that we do human kindness, right?
Absolutely. And I think overall the Democrats have done a great job in creating that umbrella. We do have to, focus our messaging to that we can reach across the other side, right? And show that olive branch. But also, we need to remain tough, strong, and let them know, like, hey, you can't just step on us.
No, and we're not going anywhere.
We're not. What would you say to young minds, young women in our society, in our country?
I was speaking to my daughter last night and my granddaughter. It's so important for young people to become civically engaged, to understand and watch the news, because a lot of them are not watching the news anymore. It's like, everybody want to be on TikTok and all these other things and getting bits and pieces, but not understanding the truth. Yeah. And that's why we have to be at those tables. And what I would say to young people today, get involved. Let your voices be heard. It's not even so much of picking just one side, because I'll be honest, Anthony, I go across the aisle. Yeah. I really do. And it's important to have friends across the aisle.
Absolutely.
Right? You can't, everything is just not Democrat. Everything is not just independent. Everything is not just Republican, but everything is human kindness.
Right.
How do you want your neighbors to be treated? How do you want your family to be treated?
Yeah.
Like, this world is going crazy right now.
It is. And with the way things have been going, there are certain individuals who have been drawing that hard line. Yes. And creating that sense of, if you have an R or D, you're either right or wrong.
Right.
And there's no happy medium like it used to be. And we need to get back to those kitchen table topics that we all have an issue with.
Yeah.
And we can agree to disagree. And that's the beautiful part about our country.
Exactly.
So how do we get back to there? And that's one of the reasons why we all come out to support our LGBTQ, our women, our men, and all these other diverse groups of individuals.
And you know how else, Anthony? I think by keeping conversations like this conversation, this podcast is important, because it starts with one person and it goes across generations, right? So now I'll go home, share about this podcast. They'll listen, then they'll tell someone about the podcast. Yeah. It's so important. Remember in the old days, you go to someone's house, what did they do? They always wanted to feed you. We always said,
that's what I do now.
Okay. And that's when it starts with a conversation with food
Yeah.
I think that's the way to a man's heart, a person mind and soul, and I think that's what we have to get back to.
Yeah.
Just having conversations around in the kitchen to take it back. I think people are just getting too, I don't know, they just getting too scary.
Yeah,
nowadays. It's
they are,
crazy.
and that is frustrating for a lot of people.
Yeah,
And I think we need to work together,
I think so.
figure out how we can build that common ground again. And overall, how do you feel the event went today?
I think the event was phenomenal. I think because of the weather, some people stayed home scared that it was going to rain
Oh
or,
yeah,
be a washout. But
right.
I'm so happy for all of the people that came and stood. I'm so happy to see our law enforcement out here.
Yes,
People who was curious to see what we were
absolutely.
doing. Even the protesters.
Yep.
It matters. And I'm happy because no matter whether they agree with us or not, they heard us. They heard us. And I know at nighttime, it's three things I do when I go to bed, Anthony, at night. I always think about who did I help today? What could I have done better? And what can I do and share or help someone with tomorrow? And when you replay those days in your mind, that's help. I feel that it helps you become a better person, right? Because everyone is into this me, me, me. No, it's about us, we, collectively, together.
Yeah.
And I think when America goes back to that, we'll understand better. We'll say, woo, we just dodged a bullet.
I wholeheartedly agree with that. And I thank you for coming out here and doing this with us. You have any last words of wisdom you'd like to share with the people?
I do. My thing is, if you're not doing anything, I know we all have 24 hours a day. Everyone is so busy. I get it. My husband want to throw me in the backyard. But I've learned that with 8 hours a day, you could do so much. You could take the time to make a difference. Go to a meeting. Even if you can't attend, zoom in. Listen, be a part of. It's so important now for people to become a part of different groups because so many people now are staying closed up in their house behind the walls and they letting their imaginations run wild, right? You have to get back out, put down our cell phones and get out and be a human again and talk to people like we're doing today.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much,
and I
Anthony.
love it. Thank you.
I appreciate this human conversation.
That's right. This
Make
is
a
the
real
local conversation.
Exactly.
And that's why we are here. So
Yes.
Thank you everybody for joining in on this. It's going to be an exciting time getting more people in front of the camera, having these important, meaningful conversations and getting all sides of it. So thank you, and we'll see you all soon.